Hello guys and welcome to a new Wargame video today by me Vulcan. Today I have for you a 2 versus 2 on Wonsan Harbour, and today myself and Blue Waffle are facing off against Amatael and Robin. Now I don't know Blue Waffle, this was a completely random game. I just made myself a quick sort of conquest game to play just so that I could get some footage for you guys, because I don't know if you know, but I don't actually play Wargame as much as I used to, which is why a lot more of my more recent Wargame content has not been my own in terms of the actual replays. But I have one for you today, and I'm making use of a German mechanized deck. All of the information, as usual, will be in the description. I'll have a screenshot of the deck and the deck code so that you can just paste straight into the game. So if you're looking for a German mechanized deck, then I have one for you. Now, I'm going to be starting off with these M113s with Milan 2 squads. We've got the M113s with Fliegerfaust 2s. We've got the KPZ 70 Kyle, my favourite tank in the game. We've got 4 Marder 1s with Panzer Grenadiers. And then we've got 2 Marder 2s with Panzer Grenadier 90s, I believe. Over on this right side, we've got 2 SPZ 11-2 Kurs, which are recon vehicles heading over to Foxtrot just to keep an eye on any helicopter attacks. Then on the left side here, I've actually got these 2 M113s as well with Milan 2s. Now I think I actually swap out these just before the game starts. I decided to only bring in 2 Milan 2 squads and put one on either side, because I was basically planning on where to put these at the start of the game. So these 2 were going to go to this sort of building place here, hide in there. And these 2 were going to go to the right side, possibly up to here if I could get them there. If not, they would stick back around here in order to fire across the field. Depends how much I got pushed back at the start. But as you can see, I have deleted this left side unit, and I will be splitting up that M113 there to send 1 to each instead of 2, because I think it was a bit of a waste of points at the beginning of the game. So, yep, you can see that instead I'm bringing in some Flak Panzer M42A1s. They're interesting, like, infantry support vehicles. Not very good at much, to be honest. Taking out infantry from range, they're pretty good at, because they can remain out of range of the enemy's, like, heat rockets and still attack them. But other than that, they're not very good against helicopters, even though they have those, like, anti-aircraft autocannons on them. Now, I do have a BO-105M VBH for the recon there, and that is about it, to be honest. Now the reason recon isn't as vital on this map is because it's a town map, and a lot of your recon will be done with infantry. That's how it really goes in here, because there's no way in putting like some recon down here is going to be useful to spot anything up here, because just the buildings get in the way. It's as simple as that. Line of sight issues all the time. Now I'm going to set it to my point of view from the beginning, because I don't necessarily want to go over what the enemy is doing from the start. Now I believe Blue Waffle was using a Eurocore mechanized deck, so he's got similar units to me. You know, he's got these CH-53Gs with the fullscreen Jaegers, and he's got Puma 330H Pirates. I'm not sure what actually comes in that, and he's got a Cassiope here with its 20 or 30mm auto cannon to help himself out. So the Kurs are off to the right. We got the M113s deploying in their positions. So it looks like I've decided to place this HGM in this building here. Gets a better line of sight onto this entire field. And this M113 is going to be moving all the way over to here, just underneath my B105. Actually, it looks like I put it in here. Probably should have moved it over. I think that might have been a mistake. But yeah, it's not very good putting it in this sector because the bridge gets in the way. So anyway, you can see that Blue Waffle's already being attacked there. His Puma's just being shot down by this Tunguska. And his Fullscreen Jaegers have managed to land, but yeah, both the Pumas got shot down. So that's unfortunate for him. This 2K22 Tunguska doing really well there to get a couple of kills at the start of the game. Now this is Conquest, so losing troops isn't as important. I've got my 2 Marder 2s here after dropping off their Panzer Grenadiers squads, heading towards these BTR RD robots. Now they're going to be attacked by these 2,450 meters Saklos missiles that the robots have. They only have 40% accuracy, so hopefully the Marders were going to get close enough. That was what I was hoping, to be able to kill off these robots before anything came off it. Now I've also got this KPZ-70 Kyler moving forwards with the support of the Flak Panzers and the Marder 1s. And then meanwhile I'm pushing the Panzer Grenadiers through the town, 4 squads of Panzer Grenadiers and 2 squads of Panzer Grenadier 90s. But you can see that Marder 2's there, just about winning out the trade with these BTR RD robots. And the robots are only worth 15 points, and my Marder 2's worth 30, so destroying 4 robots is about the same as 2 Marder 2's. And I think I just about get away with it here. Get the Marder 1s to focus their fire onto the robots as well. And the robot has run out of ammunition there, that's why it stopped firing. And now I've got to deal with these TO-55s before they start spreading flames all over my troops. Got these 2 Marder 1s in the middle of the town as well. My Fliegerfaust a bit further back. We've got some spare M113s just sitting on the right. I think that's just a bit of a miss micro. And yeah, I am of course going to be like a bit worse than usual, mainly because I'm not used to playing the game. But you can see I'm still doing pretty well with this fire support on the left to get a few clean kills, but unfortunately the Mi-28 there does get a nice side shot onto my KPZ-70 Kyler. We managed to shoot down that plane there, and my own Tornado 1DS comes in and bombs these FJB and the Commandozi. So I've retreated this Panzer Grenadier squad because they got down to only 1 man. One of the squads did get torn up, and now I'm just trying to use the Panzer Grenadiers to finish off the FJB 90s. But these Black Panzers and the Marders having a go at those recon squads. Unfortunately, all those vehicles got caught out by the napalm, and therefore a lot of the things got stunned. Now Blue Waffle's trying to use a Tornado ECR there to try and take out a couple of anti-air vehicles, but not to much avail. Got my Black Panzer Gepard A1 getting out the way on the left here, trying to hide behind some of these buildings and obviously behind all my infantry. As long as there's infantry here, I don't have to worry about my vehicles being close to towns. My Tornado ECR here, I think, did get a kill on one of the anti-aircraft. But unfortunately, as I was bringing it around for another pass, they turned off their radar, and then my ECR gets caught out by this Su-27S. I probably should have evac'd it a lot sooner, but unfortunately I was very much focused on the centre of the map at that time. So a bit of an unfortunate loss for me. Moving over these Marder 1s on the right here so they can get into line of sight to attack these APCs there. And now I'm moving them up to the back of the sector to see how far I can get. Attacking any vehicles. I can see another Tornado 1DS coming in. Brilliant planes with their 500 kilogram bombs, trying to do as much damage to infantry as possible. Unfortunately, my Marder 1s do get sniped by these Commandozi. The Commandozi do have the wonderful 875 meter range on those heat rockets, which can definitely catch out my APCs if they travel too close to the town. And now Blue Waffle has been caught out by these 2 most strokey squads. They've snuck through the town and caught out his Leopard 2s. I believe they must have got a couple of side shots into the first Leopard 2 in order to destroy it, and now I'm deciding to bring up some infantry support to help them out and secure that part of the town. So currently we've got Amatael has actually managed to get complete control of this town, but Blue Waffle still dealing damage. You can see that AMX-13 actually shooting down the Mi-28. Big loss for the red side there, and now we've got Blue Waffle's Brennus actually taking out these APCs with very accurate shots. That's what it's amazing for. This MiG-25BM also having a field day, shooting at the enemy radar AA. You can see the AMX-13 is indeed radar, so I'm going to have fun taking that out. Got my Tornado 1DS coming in again, and I actually use it to take out the command vehicle at the back here. You can see the small Jeep that was blown up. I actually spotted that when I was moving up the Marder 1s on the right there and guessed that that was a CV and managed to take it out. So nice little guess from me there. Unfortunately, Blue Waffle's Jaegers get a bit caught out at the front here. 2 Commandozi squads with 30 men. They're not going to last very long against them. I'm keeping my Panzer Grenadiers back because I don't want them to be caught out as well. And over on this left side you can see the enemy is firing some infrared missiles at my recon helicopter, but I didn't actually notice that was happening at the time. So I did lose my recon on the left, but like I say, the recon isn't as important in this game, luckily. And now with all our AA gone, they're actually free to kind of fly this Su-25 around. And I'm busy, I think, saving up for some aircraft to counteract that currently. So my Flak Panzer Gepard A1 is pretty much the only anti-air I have aside from these Fliegerfaust. So I am pretty scared of this Su-25, but luckily I'm not really making use of any heavy vehicles. And you can see after another engagement with the enemy infantry, I've now lost another squad of Panzer Grenadiers. So these are all down to one-man squads. I'm testing the water with these M113s, and I'm using this Flak Panzer Gepard A1 to shoot down this Mi-8 MTV, which was probably planning to drop off some command infantry possibly into Delta there by using the town. But the T-72 M1M does sneak up on me, and that actually does take out my Flak Panzer Gepard. The Leopard 2 from Blue Waffle does try and fire back, gets one clean shot, but the T-72 is retreated. I've got my Marder 1s into position now, drop out the Panzer Grenadiers and go for a charging assault onto the Moschauki. Now in all honesty, I was hoping that the Marder 1s would be able to pin down the Moschauki enough to allow my Panzer Grenadiers to get a lot across, but that actually wasn't the case, and you can see in the meantime the T-72 did manage to pick off the Leopard 2 with an HGM. So I've got these Panzer Grenadiers moving up on the left, we've got Blue Waffle with his own Panzer Grenadiers in the middle, using them to try and prevent the push from these Commandosi. But Commandosi are pretty much always going to win in this situation just because they have more men in their squads. And you can see with the help of these Spetsnaz, the Moschauki actually managed to completely destroy the Panzer Grenadiers out in the open. Bring in the Tornado 1DSs to try and bomb those out. And to be honest, I did tell the bombers to hit both of these sectors, but unfortunately they both hit the same sector, and I think that was because I targeted the squad specifically with one of them, and then I told the other one to hit the same place. So that was a bit unfortunate, because I probably would have taken out the Moschauki for good, but unfortunately they are still there. And now I brought in this CH-53G cargo helicopter in order to resupply my Panzer Grenadiers that have been hurt. I've also brought up some fullscreen Jaegers in the meantime, haven't yet moved them into the town because I was focusing on micromanaging the infantry in the town. You can see they're pushing forwards the Commandosi. I've even pushed up the Marder 1s here in the middle of the town to help kill off these APCs that are trying to help pin down my own infantry. But as I go to try and kill that, I don't know why my Marder 1 does move straight through that sector and gets taken out by the FJB. Blue Waffle thankfully tells me to unload these Fliegerfaust squads in Foxtrot, so I do that, just a little bit of extra defense there. And you can see over here I've got this Iltis Kado waiting to get back into Foxtrot in case Blue Waffle loses his CV here. Because obviously we weren't playing together, I didn't realise he'd already brought in a CV, that's why it's stuck in that position, just a bit out of the way. The Commandosi there catching up with one of my Panzer Grenadier squads, and now with these sort of replenished Panzer Grenadier squads coming along, I am going to be able to sort of stop this advance, hopefully. My Milan 2 able to get a few shots onto this T-72 M1M, but the T-72 M1M with its more accurate HGM, I believe, 50% accuracy there to the 40% accuracy of the Milan 2, the T-72 actually finishes the job on the Leopard 2A1 before my Milan 2 even lands a shot onto the T-72, so a bit unfortunate there. Some missile artillery coming in here from the M27 LRM from Blue Waffle. Some high explosive rockets there to help suppress some of the infantry in the town. Any depleted squads I am constantly bringing back to this CH-53G, and I finally move forward to fullscreen Jaegers to help out. Now fullscreen Jaegers are really what I need in this situation. They are of course elite infantry and they match up to the Commandosi really well, especially with those HKG-11s, and they just work out so much better than these Panzer Grenadiers. they cost a lot more. You know, like, these Panzer Grenadier squads are 15 and the Panzer Grenadier 90s are 20, but the Volksgrenadier squads are 35 points, and that's just because they have this great CQC machine gun, which just matches the G11 so well, and does a lot of damage to enemy troops. So as you can see, the Volksgrenadier is taking effect on these Commandosi, mowing them down. 10-man squad there, taking on 2 Commandosi squads, just absolutely outclassing them. And I noticed that was what I needed, so I decided to bring some in. You can see I've brought in even another couple of CH-53Gs with the Volksgrenadiers to just reinforce that. I've also got this KPZ-70 Kyler on the edge of this forest, being used to help with the fire support onto those Commandosi there. Tornado 1DS coming in again, try and land some strikes onto these Commandosi. Is being shot a lot by the anti-aircraft, but my ECR does come along and take out that Cub that was firing the shots. Basically a coordinated strike there from my bomber and my anti-radar aircraft. Again, the KPZ-70 Kyler helping with some shots onto the FJB there. FJB really just trying to shoot down this Alouette, but unfortunately pretty unsuccessful there as the missile goes astray. Blue Waffle also taking advantage of my resupply to get his Volksgrenadier squads back up to scratch, and I really don't mind about that. Obviously, you know, we're on the same team at the end of the day, and the Volksgrenadier squads are the only thing that are really going to hold up against the Commandosi. So it's important that he gets those squads resupplied. So far, he's been beaten up a lot on this left, and I was worried that they would push onto him and he would lose Delta entirely. But luckily throughout the game, we are currently remaining at a +1 advantage because we hold that Delta sector. But more Volksgrenadiers join in the front line. And after these Panzer Grenadiers have finished resupplying, I was going to swap out the supply there so that I could get the Volksgrenadiers back up to scratch as well. Meanwhile, Blue Waffle's pushing forward some Panzer Grenadiers on the right side, just to cause a bit of a distraction. Over here, I did lose a helicopter in the forest here. Actually, no, it was a KPZ-70 Kyler, sorry. That was trying to sneak through here and provide some fire support onto these APCs, but I think a VDV squad with its long-range heat rocket managed to snipe that, unfortunately. Even more Volksgrenadiers coming into the town now. You can see that I'm putting a lot of emphasis into bringing these in now instead of the Panzer Grenadiers because they're just so much more effective. And the extra CH-53Gs, I put one over here to help cover any hot helicopter advances. You can see a couple just sitting on top of the mountains, and then the other ones are moving over to the right here to basically take control of the sea and make sure nothing sort of sneaks around the back of us. We've got these Panzer Grenadiers though, still having skirmishes with the FJB as they try and shoot down the Alouette still. Get my Volksgrenadiers into range with their MG3 and then try and retreat the Panzer Grenadiers so they don't get taken out by the Commandosi. Meanwhile, I'm pushing up more squads of Volksgrenadiers, and what I'm hoping is to just surround those Commandosi squads and take them out for good. So you can see me swapping the infantry about here to resupply the squads more effectively. And you can see the Commandosi dying very, very quickly there as I continuously move up the Volksgrenadiers. And what I've learned is as soon as people start retreating their infantry, normally you have a large advantage. And I sort of noticed this with the Volksgrenadiers, so I tried to push as far as I could while I could. Tornado ECR there did take out a Tor, but unfortunately got shot down by some infrared AA in the town. Su-27 PU does actually come in and take out one of my 1DSs, and my Tornado, I get out of there as soon as I see that. Fortunately, my Gepards and the Fliegerfaust, I think, got a shot onto that plane and managed to shoot down the Su-27, so that was nice. We've taken out the Commandosi squads in the centre now. Volksgrenadiers take out the FJB, no problem at all. And you can see Blue Waffle there accidentally nearly napalming my own Volkskriegsjägers, but luckily it wasn't too much of an issue. I told it not to worry at the time. Moving these Volkskriegsjägers over to the left, spotting this faggot squad, taking that out very quickly. And meanwhile, these two units of Volkskriegsjägers taking care of any infantry that was stunned by that napalm strike. Now this T-72M1M was reversing into the town here, and it did allow my Volkskriegsjägers to take that out with a convincing couple of shots. Now I want to take back this town, so what I've done is I brought up 3 KPZ-70 Kylers. This time they're not going to get sniped from the side armor like they did before. And anytime infantry shows themselves here, they're going to get hit by both the autocannon and the main gun of those tanks while our infantry advance. Now I actually managed to capture a Koloss here after the napalm forced it away from their own troops. One of my KPZ-70 Kylers did get hit by the VDV again, but this is allowing me to resupply my Volkskriegsjägers on the push, which is really great, and you can see how much progress we've made in the centre town there now with the use of those Volkskriegsjägers instead of the Panzer Grenadiers. Marder 1's there being used to take out another HGM squad, and now our Jaegers and Panzer Grenadiers are being used to attack the Spetsnaz there. Blue Waffle brings in a 1DS, doesn't quite get shot down, so manages to get the bombs off there and take out a couple of APCs. And now with the advancement of some APCs in the centre, I try and take advantage of that by pushing forwards the Volkskriegsjägers to take care of these Sapperzi. Now this Mi-24P is a problem, but fortunately for me, he did bring it in range of my Volkskriegsjäger squad, which allowed me to basically stun the Mi-24P and stop it firing those rocket pods that would be very, very powerful at taking out my men. Now Robin's bringing in some more airstrikes. His Su-22 M4P does get a really nice anti-radar shot, and the Su-7B does also hit a nice napalm strike. The Volkskriegsjägers are safe from that because they do have buildings on the edge of that strike to hide in. Su-24M coming in there with a really nice bombing strike on all our infantry. Doesn't quite blow it all up. MiG-25 trying to do the same, and now the Su-25 coming in. Now the only AA we have here is the Mistral, and unless he flies over these Fliegerfaust, we're not going to have anything to stop him from destroying my KPZ-70 Kylers. But fortunately for me, he focuses on my Marder, which was a really strange choice, to be honest. I'm sure he can see these KPZ-70 Kylers moving about. Yes, he can. So why would you not target those instead? A 1DS there shot down by this Tunguska M, and a constant skirmish now with the infantry in both the centre and the left town. Just as I say that, it stops happening. Su-25 trying to get a shot onto my Kyler. I think it kind of lost line of sight for a second there, but my F4Fs come in, and with the help of 2 of them, we managed to take out that Su-24. MiG-29 coming in there, and fortunately for me, Fliegerfaust are on point today, and 2 shots from that with 5 HE power each shoot that straight down without the MiG doing any damage to my F4Fs. So I've decided now to bring in some FRP Ronin 3s. Now I did know that they were using a lot of anti-radar, but I was really trying my best to sort of, you know, turn on and off the radar as they were bringing those planes in. But he really caught me out here because they weren't currently in position, and then he brought in an Su-22 and it just caught out my Ronin 3 there. So I only have 2 left now, but it's not too much of an issue because we do have such an overwhelming advantage now. And Blue Waffle's command unit here has been neutralized by the use of this command infantry from Robin, so that's why we no longer have control over Delta, but we are ahead 194 points to the enemy's 32. Su-24M coming in now, bombing my infantry again, but did get shot down. one of Blue Waffle's Ronin 3s does get taken out by the MiG-25BM. My radar is off for my FRP Ronin 3s, so that's all very well. Fortunately, the MiG-25 does get another kill there because Blue Waffle didn't micro his radar AA. And you can see my Volkskrieger is still advancing here. But unfortunately, with the introduction of these Mi-24Ps, I am forced to start to be more careful with those infantry squads. Now the reason I've got these squads back here is just in case any units come around the side, because currently I have no recon of any of this area. So for all I know, there could be like some APCs that come down here and sort of sweep in, which is why I'm being careful to keep back a couple of units to be able to defend that. Also, this Volkskrieger squad isn't fully prepared to take on an entire squad. These Panzer Grenadiers are trying to catch up with the Volkskrieger to help support them. And I guess I could have pushed a bit further now, but again, like I was saying, as soon as these showed themselves, the Mi-24Ps, they would just blast them with rocket pods, which is not what I want to see. Our infantry has held down this edge of the town quite effectively so far, these Panzer Grenadiers and Jaegers, and I've got my KPZ 70 Kylers sitting in between these two towns, obviously because we know that there is no infantry in these parts. And I've actually in the meantime managed to push forwards these Fliegerfaust, and I did hit this Mi-24P, and that has forced Robin to move them back, which is nice to see. Now I traded my F4F KWS for an Su-27S there. The Su-27 did get shot down by the VBL Mistral, I believe, after my F4F hit it with a radar missile. But most of the fighting has actually calmed down in the middle, and now I'm trying to take advantage of the positioning with these Volkskrieger to catch out the reinforcements that are moving down the road here, because these Volkskrieger do have 875 meter range on their heat rockets. MiG-25 RBF missing a snipe onto the CV, Su-7 being used to napalm the town. And over here you might have seen that I spotted the command infantry briefly, and I tried to chase them down with the Volkskrieger after I knew that the Mi-25s were out there. But now instead, you know, it's just Motor Strelke there. My 1DS comes in with a bombing strike, does actually significantly harm the Motor Strelke, but I am still forced to retreat the Volkskrieger so I don't lose the squad entirely, because they are worth a lot. And now the Spetsnaz have come up and are trying to take out these two Volkskrieger, so it's a definite retreat for me now. But fortunately I have these squads in reserve, and I've moved them up to take a defensive line just so that I can get the Volkskrieger back and around, and then you know, replace them with these full units of Panzer Grenadiers and so on. Now I've also brought up this CH-53G, and I'm basically telling it to land just here in the middle of the city. Now that puts it out of line of sight behind this big building, and will still allow it to resupply units near the front. I'm using my KPZ 70 Kylers in the middle of this town here. I'm trying to sneak them in and out to take out some of the APCs moving down this road. Blue Waffle using the combination of his Brennis and the Volkskrieger to try and damage these Motor Strelke. So, like you can see here, each of these buildings prevents line of sight. So I can literally just sneak them forwards and backwards in these houses and take out any units I want. So here I'm just using the KPZ 70 Kylers to snipe a couple of units on the left and right. Su-24M coming in again, doing a nice barrel roll before he drops his bombs onto the town there. Nice advance from the Panzer Grenadier 90s and the Marder 2s does spot and take out the command infantry that was neutralizing Delta. So that puts us again at a +1 advantage with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the game. MiG-25 RBF coming over. There's more 500 kilogram bombs there. Got SU-22 M4P coming in as well with its anti-radar, but unfortunately Blue Waffles changed to infrared. So that gets shot down. We managed to get rid of one of the anti-radar planes. We got the KPZ 70 Kylers being shot at by these Mi-24Ps, but like I was stating, they can literally just come back and hide behind the building, so I do just that. And with this K-52 flying straight over the top of the Marder 1s and the Panzer Grenadiers, that does get shot down. Ka-50 Akula does just about get away with it. And with the help of the Spetsnaz there, and the VDV and this K-50, this Leopard 2 only barely survives as it gets into the forest. Now, as you may have noticed on the right here, my Fliegerfaust are trying to do their best currently to shoot down a helicopter incursion that was just about spotted by the CH-53Gs as they were shot down. But unfortunately for me, they do fly straight over my second command vehicle there, and that gets shot by a Saklos missile. Right, we lose the command in Foxtrot at the same time, and now we've got this massive helicopter rush coming straight towards Gulf. Now, we did manage to shoot down a couple of the helicopters that were at the start, but now we've got to deal with this. So I decided to quickly emergency bring in 4 Black Panzer Gepard A1s, the perfect helicopter killers, but I've got F4Fs and the Tornado 1DS on my side, so we use them to take out these Mi-25s with the help of Blue Waffles MX-13s. He was much more on the ball than I was when that helicopter flank caught us out. But now we have to deal with anything in Foxtrot. Now, I was scared that this Mi-2T was bringing in a command squad, and that would have been horrific, because that would have meant they would have brought in like enemy units from this reinforcement sector and could have just completely flanked our entire force. It would have been terrible, but fortunately they didn't, because normally that's what I see does happen on this map. People actually, you know, flank around with helicopters and then capture those sectors. It's just terrible when that happens. It's so hard to defend against because all your units are in the wrong place. So unless you have a lot in reserve, you can't really get away with it. Another Su-24M coming in. See, that's trying to hit another bombing strike onto the CV, but does hit these 4 AMX-13s. Amazing kill there, but unfortunately the enemy did lose their Su-24 in the process. But at the moment, you know, we got 10 seconds left on the clock. I've done as much damage as I can. Panzer Grenadier taking out a unit here and there. You know, we don't really need to go back and capture Foxtrot. I've literally just got a wave of Black Panzer Gepard A1s heading in that direction just to finish off any helicopters. But there you have it. That's game over. With a 30-minute time limit, we hit 213 command points by the end of the game, and that scored us a total victory over the enemy's 51 conquest points. So, a really nice sort of surprise at the end there from the enemy team with those helicopters. Did actually catch us out. I thought we were safe. Obviously, with having all those helicopters there, they just sort of piled straight through. I thought the Fliegerfaust squads would take care of anything like that, but apparently they didn't, and they did kind of frighten me for a second because I really thought they might capture that sector, but it was too late in the game by that point, and they probably wouldn't have made much of a difference to win the game anyway. So there you have it. I got 3,104 kills to 1,690 losses. And Blue Waffle, my teammate, 3,054 kills to 2,295 losses. And Amatael did very well. You know, 2,798 kills to 2,970 losses. Robin, unfortunately, didn't do as well. But still, put up a good fight, I believe. You know, it was interesting to see the infantry combat in the middle of the game. You know, like you had the Panzer Grenadiers at the start, and I noticed that they were being picked off by the Commandosi, so instead I invested in lots of Fullscreen, saved up for those, and they really paid off, as you can see. These Fullscreen squads getting so many kills. Commandosi, Scott 2Ms, these are just APCs really. Got this Fullscreen squad here actually killing 3 Superzi squads, And this fullscreen Jaeger squad, look at this. 2 Commandosi squads, you know, you've got a T-72 M1M in there, a couple of Faggot squads. Just did really, really well. The Fliegerfaust 2 there, you can see, took down a MiG-29, Mi-2T, which had the Formosa squads in them, and this Mi-2T with another Formosa squad. So, yeah, Fliegerfaust also paying off quite a bit there. Even this Fliegerfaust 2 took out an Su-27 PU, which is pretty much like 5 times the cost of a Fliegerfaust squad. Probably more, actually. So yeah, really good value for money on a lot of my infantry, I think, especially keeping them resupplied with the CH-53s throughout the game. It's really what you got to do. Make the most out of your infantry in those town situations, and you can come out on top in games like these, especially with a really strong deck like the German mechanized deck. So I definitely recommend this deck to beginners. You know, if you're having trouble on city maps, it's definitely one that will break you through them. But that's all for now, guys. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.